The NBA, Oklahoma City has taken a 2-1 lead over San Antonio after winning Game 3. And how about the bench? They had 76 bench points in Game 3. They're averaging 61 a game in this series. Tim McMahon is covering the Western Conference Finals, and earlier tonight we had a chance to talk. Hey, Tim, Wemby had that huge Game 1 in this series, the 41-24. Since then, 43-21 over the last two games. What's OKC's philosophy in dealing with him?
Howdy, Ernie. Look, they are throwing bodies at him. They are trying to wear him down. They're trying to make him play in crowds. They're being as physical as possible with him. But, you mentioned the monster Game 1 that he had. He played 49 minutes. That's the most of his career, and he finished that game strong. But we're talking about a series that is every other day, and OKC just has such a deep team. And you see the depth with how lopsided the bench scoring is. I mean, they just scored 76 bench points, but you also feel that depth defensively, especially Victor Wembanyama. He's dealing with Isaiah Hartenstein, and it's Chet Holmgren. And then coming off the bench, there's an Alex Caruso. There's a Jalen Williams. When the other Jalen Williams is healthy, he'll take a turn on them. And, as Chet Holmgren said, the fresh legs out there really are able to try to wear him down, but they're not putting fresh legs on the floor just to wear him down. And, as Chet so eloquently said, the dudes that are going in the game are dudes. I mean, OKC goes a legit 12 or 13 deep, and a lot of these guys are coming in the game like the scoring's almost a bonus. These are physical, tough players, and they're really making Wemby fight for every inch on the floor. 6 dunks in Game 1, a total of 2 in Games 2 and 3.
You mentioned that bench, and I mean, the numbers are pretty staggering when you look at it for the series. It's 184-64 in bench points for OKC. And these contributions, I mean, where did this come from with Alex Caruso from 3? Jalen Williams has been huge. Jared McCain has been huge. How do you contend with this bunch?
Yeah, and look, a lot of these three-pointers, these are Spurs game plan design. Like, hey, we want those guys shooting those shots because we don't want Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to be able to get where he wants to go. They're trying to, they're really crowding things, they're clogging the driving lanes against Shai, and they're invitation threes, or at least they were. Alex Caruso, 5 of 21 during the regular season on threes against the Spurs. The game plan worked. There was 2 of 12 on Christmas. He's lights out in this series, but he's the epitome of a playoff riser. He shot better than 40% from 3 in last year's playoff run, which obviously ended in a championship for the Thunder. And then, they've got shooters. Isaiah Joe's barely playing in this series. He's a shooter. Jared McCain, I'm not so sure that Daryl Morey sold high after all. Huh? I mean, he just has zero fear. Right? But he comes in and, his teammates say, it's going up, and you always feel like it's going in when the ball hits his hands. And again, it's just they've got all these guys who know their roles. They play with confidence. They play with freedom. And they're taking the shots that are presented to them because the Spurs don't want to let the 2-time MVP dominate the game.
What, if you had to put it into words, what is the philosophy San Antonio has on SGA?
Make him play in crowds, get him off the ball. I mean, to sum it up briefly, it is get him off the ball. And look, Steph Castle's taking the primary assignment. They're giving him a lot of help, which he's usually not a guy who gets a lot of help. But that's the kind of weapon that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is. They're doubling often. They're doubling randomly, so, it's not predictable for SGA. And they're basically daring him, make, quote-unquote, the right play. Make the right read. Get off the ball. Don't try to force anything. And it hasn't been the biggest scoring series for SGA, just like, by the way, it wasn't last series against the Lakers. But he's making the right plays. He's getting his teammates open shots, and he's had 12 assists in 2 of these games during the series. That's a playoff career high. So that's just proof that, he's reading the game. And if you don't want to let him dominate, he's going to trust his teammates. And his teammates delivered last series. They're delivering again right now.
So now we head into Game 4, lastly, and, I heard Wemby talk about, hey, we knew there would be trials in this playoff run. Mm-hmm. This is huge. I mean, this is must win in your gym in Game 4.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge test. This is the biggest test of Victor Wembanyama's career. And look, the Spurs came into this series with a ton of confidence. I mean, they beat the Thunder 4 out of 5 times during the regular season. That included 3 wins in 12 days, after the Thunder got off to that 24-1 start. They spanked their butts in front of a national TV audience on Christmas Day in OKC's gym, but the playoffs are a different beast. And, let's just also call it like it is for the Spurs. This is not a healthy Spurs team. They have a blank injury report right now, but De'Aaron Fox is clearly not 100%. He's playing through a high ankle sprain. Dylan Harper's playing through adductor soreness. He's clearly not 100%. And as Ms. Johnson said today, Victor Wembanyama creates a lot of the advantages, and then those Spurs guards throughout the course of the year have been great at exploiting them. That hasn't really happened in the series. Fox missed the first couple games. Harper wasn't the same player in Game 3, but there's no excuses. There is pressure, and for a team that's trying to skip the line, trying to win a championship in their first playoffs together, I agree with you. You can't let this thing go back to OKC down 3-1.
Tim McMahon, you've been doing a lot of good work in 17 years at ESPN. It's a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for the info, man.
Appreciate it, Ernie. It's been a pleasure.
So we head to Game 4, and look, the expected thing to me, Draymond, with OKC is forcing the turnovers and the points off turnovers. You expect them to do that. This bench contribution has been otherworldly.
Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable, but it just shows you really how deep this team is. They've built this from the ground up. So all those guys on that bench, they all can play. And you have J-Dub out. So all of those guys, when they're coming in, Jared McCain last night, I think, shot 23 shots or 21 shots. All those guys that are coming in, they have more of a green light to just go because J-Dub's not out there. A.J. Mitchell got hurt last night. He left the game. So all those guys have an opportunity to just go. But also, if you look at that, maybe not Jalen Williams, but 3 of those 4 guys could be starters on other teams in the NBA.
Yep. Alex Caruso, by the way, is 14 for 23 from deep.
But 2 things. The Spurs game plan is trash.
Terrible.
Because them guys getting wide open shots, like, 'cause they're taking the ball out of SGA's hand. Like, they're just getting jump shot practices. So their game plan is helping him. They're doubling Shea so far away. These guys just sitting over there like they in the gym by themselves. And the second thing is, I think we need to all pray for Wemby.
Why?
Because he can't play too many minutes. They're going to kill him out there.
You're joking.
Man, I am damn sure joking. Because you guys, these people, man, they pissing me off. I'm watching the whole games. They ain't playing dirty.
No.
And, like, these are some of the softest fouls I ever seen in my life. You got these clowns on TV talking about, oh, they're going to hurt poor Wemby. I was like, hurt him? Are you kidding, man? It drives me crazy watching these shows.
And to Chuck's point, when you're playing against a great championship team with great others, you can't let the others get involved. That's how they win games. You focus on SGA, like, oh my God, it's SGA, 2-time MVP. And like Chuck said, they're wide open shots. And I'm going to need Wemby to do more. Game 1, he had 41-24, they won. Game 2, 21-26, it's not enough. And I can say that as Lord Supreme of all big men. I remember getting swept, averaging 34, 35, and my father, rest in peace, saying, it ain't enough. You have to do more. So he has to do more. I heard him yesterday say he's not making his teammates better. It's because he's not dominating the game. When Alex Caruso is on you, I don't want to see a turnaround. I do not want to see a turnaround. He has to be aggressive, super aggressive, so they could, panic with him.
Let's just pray that he doesn't get hurt.
No, but,
I mean, they so physical with him.
You have a term called others. I'm going to elevate it a little bit. I'm going to call them special others.
Yes.
Because they have 11 guys on their team, I will believe, that if they got 20 points, no one would be surprised. If you say Isaiah Joe gets 20 points, yeah, okay, he's done.
But the Spurs are happening with that bad game plan.
But I'm not saying that
anybody can make wide open shots.
No, but I'm saying that these guys have done it when SGA has gone out and they still had it rolling. You had multiple guys when they had to take multiple shots, from Caruso to Wiggins to Wallace. They were like, okay, we'll take this responsibility. McCain, these guys are not unaccustomed to getting 20 points either. So they're helping them, but these guys are special others. They're not just, like he said, 3 or 4 of them